Mercy brought it to my attention that perhaps it wasn't the most appropriate of me to have been spending time with an unwed lady such as yourself.
I mean, I'm only helping you study. I don't feel weird about it continuing if you don't.
Yes.
Bright red.
I'm glad to hear that, and I just want to clarify that your virtue is safe in my company.
At the mention of her virtue, Elara. My what? Hey everybody and welcome. We're D&D Boyband, a group of friends that all like to play D&D Pretty Boys because apparently it's not fantasy unless everybody's hot. My name is Jamie and joining me tonight are a group of heroic adventurers. I'm apologizing for being off last week. BT decided not to install my internet and I've only just got it today. So thank you, BT. First of all, let me introduce Ben as Mercy this time, not Goat.
Live long and prosper.
Sai as Quan.
Hello, you got my name right this time.
Sorry, I meant Sai as Aku. Who's Casimir?
Oh, that's me. Hey, how we doing?
Eski as Pod.
Hello.
And Matt as special guest Atlas.
There are other internet service providers available. We are not sponsored by BT, unless they do want to sponsor us, in which case that'd be pretty pog.
What makes a guest special rather than just a guest?
You couldn't pay me to show BT.
We are currently down a Luke, and therefore an Arvis. He might just have rolled really high on stealth. Not sure.
Classic Arvis behavior.
Very much. But he might appear, which will throw all the cameras into chaos, at which point someone else will be DM, and until the time that gets resolved, they will be in charge of the group and the campaign and the stream. So, good luck to whoever that is.
Everyone got some magic items ready to distribute? Because I got a wish list.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise, we are still Toadless, as Toad is off in the Court of Endless Summer, and Erin is taking a break, wishing her the best, as always. But, before we begin, do we have any announcements?
No, I don't think so. No, let's play D&D.
The only announcement is our beard game is strong tonight.
It is. It is.
Last week, you guys came down from your climactic confrontation with Razor, the destruction and defense of Reedhome, the fiery explosives you planted beneath it. You had interactions with the party, you buried Grudel, you interrogated Naliska, finding out that Razor's plan is to gather enough blood magic energy, store it up, and use the Whirlwind Lantern to aim it and destroy Savras. You know you have about a month and a half, as I was wrong about the calendar, to fix this. You have been told it is approximately 2 weeks, so 24 days, travel to Mountain's Breath, which is where you believe, and where Razor and Naliska believe the Whirlwind Lantern is, and where you believe Razor has gone. We are currently halfway through that 12 days rest, recuperation, and training that you are doing, which has resulted in some of you getting some feats, some interaction with the other party. We've got a couple more bits to follow up before you guys get set off traveling. Any questions before we begin? Anything I missed or wanted to highlight from last session that needs to carry over?
Level up again?
No. You are also all level 5. Some of you have already done good things, so I think that Pod has earned basically a free use of Blessing once you can do. Arvis has earned Skulker. I think Casimir earned a feat. Yes, we haven't got into that one yet. And I don't think... Oh, Mercy has earned Observant. Correct?
I think so.
Also, last session, Goat joined the other team.
Oh, yeah. Goats joined forces with the criminal. Unforgivable.
He was very persuasive.
So, this is a period of quiet rebuilding. Most of the town is, but obviously a lot of stuff has been destroyed, but there wasn't much of the town left. It was derelict. It's a big communal. Some people do ultimately decide to leave. Priestess Sarah is going around helping. Captain Bran, Elias are all involved in the town's reconstruction. Some of you help, some of you find to do what you can. Oh, sorry, Arvis has done crime and earned a bunch of gold. That's what Arvis has done. Which there isn't much value in this town, but whatever there is, he finds it. I think there was some training between Atlas, Fazul, and Casimir. Pod was going around doing good. Mercy, what were you up to this week?
So how far through the week did I arrive at the beginning of this
5
week?
days. No, you arrived about halfway through.
Oh, okay, so 5 days of downtime. Maybe like meditation and weave reading. Can I have I'll think of some questions to like do some to ask and then maybe I'll roll some checks if that's okay. And that's probably my downtime.
Yeah, that absolutely is. There's one confrontation that probably lingers in each of your mind. You sit down, you're tired from either training or walking around, scouting the area, helping to rebuild the town. The other team during this time are roughly engaging in the same activity. Malik has decided not to take the same path as you. He's being slightly cagey about his plans. Whether or not you want to interrogate him is something we can obviously roleplay out. But he has told you
Malik
he's
not being
coming.
cagey.
True. He has at least told you for now that he is not coming with you.
He's been
Lara
naughty
is
cat of the
disappointed by
week.
this.
Like, how many weeks running?
Every
Sorry,
week.
Lara is disappointed in this, but understands. Quan, during this time, I will say that you have spent. Well, would you want to spend how much? Would you have spent time with Alara studying this week?
Yes.
Would you roll a history check for me?
Studying.
Oh. That's definitely a trope on AO3 too.
Okay, can we stop talking about this shit, please?
No. I don't think I will.
no, I don't think I will either.
Ooh, why is... Wait, history. What's my plus on history? Shit. It's a 10, so I think it's...
A reasonable amount of studying and a reasonable amount you've learned about the world. So when we move forward, Quan will probably have a good baseline of the geography of the world, how each of the planes work, each of the gods, some discussion, like as a character you will know a bit about that. Is there anything in particular that you think Quan would have wanted to delve into or dive about that I can answer for you / the group / Quan? Or otherwise, when in the future when it comes up, I'll be like, Quan, you probably know this.
Yeah, I mean, he probably needs to learn some table manners. I mean, knives and forks were something that he struggled with, apparently, when he came to this place. But no, nothing that I can think of, aside from, like, general god kind of knowledge. And also, like, probably, like, days of the week and the month as well.
Sure. So I'll drop this in player chat for everybody, but I think you all have a semi-work. You all know the calendar of this place, but it's very... The calendar of the world is very structured. You have 12 months, 12 days per week, 3 weeks per month, so 36 days total. Each month has the exact same day, so the first of every month it's Grace Day. It's like the first day of every month being a Monday in the real world. And then each one of those months corresponds to each of the planes, which you are told about. And then obviously you delve into each of you are predominantly taught about the primordial pantheon. 12 gods, one of which 11 gods, previously 12, theorized. Each one of them rule one of the planes. You are told obviously about the lost plane, where no one quite knows what has happened. It's theorized what that god would once have been and what happened, but no one in living memory seems to have concrete evidence of what happened, or at least Alara doesn't know of anyone who does. I would say, Quan, you're slightly disappointed at the end of this. Not in Alara and not in what you've learned, but that none of this has jogged anything in your mind. It's not like you think, oh, that I recognize that place name. It has like the ring of somewhere I probably am from or know about or think. You kind of endeavor in this, and as you go along, your motivation or your belief that if you just know or hear a name, something will twig in your mind and your memories will come back. It doesn't seem to happen in the same way that encountering Bran caused it to happen. And that's probably slightly disappointing for you.
So nothing in what I've learned has triggered my memory.
No.
Okay.
Even learning about Tyr, which I'll say probably the god you dive most into with Alara, other than the Primordial Pantheon, because of course he's not a member of the Primordial Pantheon. He is a lesser god of the high heavens.
Yep.
A minor god, but lesser god's insulting. Atlas, I believe you're training. Would there be anything else you'd go to?
Yeah, I just want to make some trick arrows, so maybe ones with some line attached to them, like some rope, or some ones that can specifically deal like bludgeoning damage, so blunt end arrows, that kind of thing.
Okay. I will say over your time, and I'll let you work with Arvis on this. You can do that. What do you want so you want the arrows when you fire the arrows, what is the intended result?
So the only specific change outside of a damage change with the blunt ones would be like trailing a line of rope behind it.
Okay. But to grab onto, or just to have flying through the air?
To grab onto, so it'll be a significant length of rope that probably go at least like the shorter range of a longbow, or maybe like 100 feet
I think
distance.
I think that's fine. What I'll probably say is that you can do this probably with Arvis, make around 10 of them. They'll probably have I'll double check the things, but I think they're probably gonna have a -1 or a -2 to hit. But when they hit, they'll do their damage and inflict a grapple check.
Cool.
To see whether or not it sticks in them.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you.
Cool.
And also, I'll just be crafting a few bits and pieces that I messaged you about as well. That's minor stuff.
Afterwards, cool. Cool. Pod, you were kind of going around helping people, talking to the dead, doing any last wishes, last requests. Is there anything else you want to do?
Well, actually, there'd be a question. Does Casimir have out a undead companion at this point in time? Or is it
Probably
dead?
no. You've probably noticed that he avoids spending time with the one you see most commonly, Mateus. He avoids spending time with it at all costs. He doesn't look happy to summon it, and it's a begrudging kind of thing.
So is it ever out at any point in time?
Probably not in this week.
Okay, cool. Because I think, upon meta leveling up, he would have gained a few abilities that were closer to death than life. So he would have probably spent his time to justify these, on a roleplay perspective, getting closer to the death side than the life side when it comes to cleric. So as you said, a lot of communing with the dead, probably applying a bit of the learning from the necromantic energy that he's been around for the past however many weeks we've been together, giving him a closer connection to the border of life and death. And I hope, as we discussed, that he would have somewhat gained the ability to somewhat fluidly commune with the dead without becoming too exhausted. That would have been, I guess, his main focus would have just been a lot of meditation, a lot of chatting, a lot of communing and talking to spirits, whether they want to listen or not, and just overall gaining a closer understanding with the dead than before.
I think if Casimir sees Pod doing this, and gets a sense this is what he's doing, he probably would say something to the effect of, Pod, if you want to chat to my dead paladin at any point, you're welcome to him. I don't want him, so if you distract him for a little while. Maybe you could ask him how to fuck off and leave me alone, you know?
I think previously he would have been obviously very standoffish about this kind of thing. Not like aggressive, but he would have, he was uncomfortable around Mateus. But as time has gone on, he's realized that this is somewhat a gap in his knowledge of how the world works. He's never really been exposed to necromancy or anything about it beforehand. He's seen dead bodies, but he's never been around necromantic magic. So he probably at some point would take a moment to try and understand have a conversation with Mateus and try and understand kind of how things are working, like what he still understands, what his connection to the world still is, what his soul looks like. And
make a religion check for me.
I absolutely can. I'd love to.
Yeah, Casimir snaps him into existence with a spiteful little hair flick and walks
religion. That was a it's not a nat 1 actually, that's a 7, so it comes to a 10, like a bang on in the center. Nothing special, nothing not.
Okay.
But unfortunate.
But we're not gonna roleplay. I would say the roleplay conversation wasn't necessary, but as Pod goes along, you kind of use the same thing you would with others, the same kind of rituals, dust, understanding, not necessarily speak with dead, but the same kind of attempt to commune with this spirit. And something is off. Something is different in this. It's not disturbing. It's not like an illusion or something there, but you're not interacting with the same kind of spirit or energy that happens when you recall something with Speak with Dead or when a ghost lingers. Mateus is verbose and himself and answers your questions and talks to you, and is clearly answering as him. It's not like it's something else there, it's him. But it's, for want of a better phrase, it's more him than you're used to.
Like his whole spirit is still there, as if he was alive almost.
Yeah, the dead are often an animated facsimile of life, but this isn't. This is him, and that is weird.
Interesting.
Fucking Mateus.
He can't leave.
Many reasons
he
to have conversations.
He hates Casimir. That's what you learn from the conversation. Casimir, the bastard man who killed him. He wants to go back. He wants to go back and be buried in Sacramar. Why is he still here? It's probably what you get from this conversation.
If I asked him, what does it feel like to die? What would he have said? Put you on the spot.
Ooh.
Ooh.
He probably pauses for a little bit. It felt like falling into a deep sleep where I felt every other thing around me suddenly connect, and as if the whole of Lukai and I had bonded, and from which I was rudely shaken from every time he summons me.
I think Pod would almost like seem like a bit like an armchair, and he's like, "So how does this make you feel?"
Fucking angry.
He's like almost jotting things down in like a little kind of notebook, kind of. He's like, "Oh, interesting." Oh. And like other little questions, like niggling, like "Oh, does it hurt every time?" Like do you feel like you're
there's probably
freedom of movement?
You'll probably notice there are like guardrails where you might ask him little questions around like what actually happened to him or specifics about it that Casimir just doesn't let him answer. Like if you ask him how he actually died and all that stuff, doesn't seem able to tell you.
He would irritatingly be asking every question, but in like the most roundabout, as if he's trying to get around the barrier every time. Like, okay, not specifically how you died, but like, you know, kind of if you were to describe a scenario that was similar to how you died, how would that look like? Obviously, you wouldn't get any more information out of this, but it would just be like endless barrage of questions of just attempting to get as much info out as possible. He truly finds Mateus fascinating.
Okay. Probably some lawyering. I'd say Casimir, however, has Mateus fairly stuff on most of that information.
Yeah.
But no doubt, Pod enjoys trying to find it out every time. Okay. So, Pod, I would say if you want to make a persuasion roll against Undead in the Stormlands, I'm going to give you a +1 temporary buff for now. So, I'll let you know when it expires, but
Got it.
no advantage, +1 to your proficiency when you are specifically trying to make a persuasion roll on the Undead in the Stormlands. So,
Does Atlas count? I'm joking.
You succeed every persuasion check on me, Pod, automatically.
That's cheeky. No, we don't do PvP rolls. I don't. That's cheeky.
So, coming towards the end of the week, as you're all inside doing your tasks, studying, training, there's kind of this a couple of nights before you go, you're all sitting down with dinner. And throughout this whole thing, various members of the other party have reacted a bit differently to what's going on. Nalos seems a bit lost in her own world. She's lost her orb and seems often to be messy. You'll actually occasionally catch her kind of looking over you and almost seem trying to mimic some of your actions while you're communing.
Annoying.
Fazul, yeah, annoying. Fazul is training. Kalorin seems absent. Unless you specifically go looking for him, I'm going to say that you guys don't really see him. Silent Moon. And Brom, however, Brom keeps very separate. He's very guarded. And clearly scowls at each of you, but seems to reserve most of that animosity for Quan. One dinner, kind of, you're all sitting down, Alara and Malik at the head of the table, like an uneasy couple. The rest of you driven
I
down
ship
side. And Brom's kind of, kind of got his axe beneath him, kicks it underneath and says, looks over at Atlas. So, which one of them do you think is the traitor? Points at your entire team.
Traitor, what, working with Razor?
Well, we had Corin. Makes sense you would have put one in each party. Go on then, out with it. You're new. Who is it? If you had to guess, which one would you name?
They all seem fairly reasonable. Traitors, I mean, everyone present, Quan, Casimir, and Pod were around helping to kill the traitor that was in your party. Maybe we just don't have any. That's what I like to think, anyway.
So you think you were all non-threatening enough that you didn't need espionage?
If you want to put it like that, sure. Maybe we were harder to infiltrate.
Maybe Alara's a better judge of character.
That too.
The over Lara looks back at you with a slightly raised eyebrow.
Casimir, the least dependable seeming individual.
Hey, we didn't have a traitor in our midst, so clearly, proof's in the pudding.
Well, if it was me, I'd come up with a really convenient excuse for not ever having to say anything about my past. Isn't that right? Just looks directly at Quan.
Am I hearing this? Like, is this a
Yeah, he's saying
brazenly-
it loudly to the whole table.
Well,
That's my
I'm
bet
not
anyway.
quite sure whether that would be a good strategy, but it could be one nonetheless. He's oblivious to the implication.
So that's
You good there, Brom? You seem bitter.
Is that your guess, that it's our sunshine and rainbows paladin who helps old ladies across the street?
You mention a paladin, he scoffs.
Casimir raises his eyebrows but says nothing.
Yes, the one Captain Brand regaled me with their bravery and power, and then let Grudel die.
Thought we've been through this one. He saved Zul's life, at least. Not that he particularly deserved saving.
Just, watch your back, because I'll certainly be watching mine. Each of one of you.
Well, that's probably smart. We are going to try and sabotage you so you don't kill Razor before us, so yes, that probably would be in your best interest.
I hope sabotage doesn't mean murder.
It might. Depends if I think you're going to win or not. Currently, I don't think you're much of a threat at all, so no, it'll probably be something quite minor. Maybe I'll tie your shoelaces
Lara
together.
looks over you and says, Casimir!
Just shrugs.
I'm not going to kill
God.
them if they look like they're going to win.
Nurse, he told me I should be more honest with my feelings, so here I am being
I'm
honest.
sure Casimir is
Nick
just
is slightly
joking.
approving. Malik almost is like, respect. Bazul says, I've seen him training, he can fly.
What does he say?
Bazul says, we've been training, I'm not really that scared, couldn't kill a fly.
All right.
Lightly jokingly.
I thought I saw Casimir actually outwit you the other day, though, Fazul. I don't know. In combat, no less.
That's not hard. Point is, Brom, should you really be talking down to us?
Mom's obviously a dwarf.
Wow.
Looks up.
Wow. That's wow,
No.
Casimir. That's it's a bit oof, insensitive.
Be on the nose, don't you think?
He's called our paladin a traitor. I mean, nobody
I
can...
simply said, if I had a guess, it would be the one who seemed to be holding back since we met them and doesn't have bloody memory of where they are. Or what they're doing.
I appreciate this is a very difficult time for you, Brom. I would be in the same place as you had my teammate died. It was a very unfortunate circumstance. Perhaps you should stay
fight. Make a
and
persuasion.
what do you mean?
How much are you diffusing the situation rather than adding to it?
As a quick aside,
That must have been very
Bahamut
hard
and
for
Tyr
you.
get on?
What, sorry?
Would Bahamut and Tyr get on with each other, like line goals?
Yeah.
Oh shit, I did not mean to roll. I don't understand how this new roll 20. I just rolled 3d20s by accident.
Lol.
So that's a 5 plus 3.
So 3 to 8.
Yep.
Folds his arms. Watch yourself.
Am I threatened
that
by
kind of,
that?
like-
Because as a player, I really don't feel very threatened.
Tiny bit. As you can see, there's like a very slightly faint red glow on his axe. Alex says, Brom, maybe you've had enough. Put that meat down. We're allies, after all, aren't we?
I mean,
Aren't we? Looked at you all, and everyone kind of scowling at each other.
Casimir sort of
As long
says,
as
Of course
Razor
we are.
dies, whatever.
yes, of course, though we're not the ones refusing to talk about murders we've committed and refused to talk about in our past, are we, Brom? Very pointedly referring to his accidentally killed some people and refuses to talk about it.
At least I'm not pretending it didn't happen. So, icy silences over dinner. following this. Would anybody do anything as a result of that conversation, or should I move on to Ben's questions?
I have a question. Is Mercy there for this?
No, I'm. Oh, I was going to say I'm
Mercy not?
I'm meditating antisocially in some like secluded spot.
fair.
Fair enough.
I could be there if I'm invited. I guess I'll go, but it would have to be. I think Mercy would otherwise undisturbed. They would sit and just eye roll trance the weave for like a week.
Would there be something Quam would want to say to him?
Them.
No,
Them.
Quan.
Sorry, them.
No, not particularly.
Okay.
I'm just wondering if Mercy's there.
So, your first question, Ben. Rolls, please.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
your question, you meditate on the weave. What is Quan's destiny?
Is massive destiny. Can it? It's
Wait,
so
what?
large.
Wait,
Can it
what?
even be considered?
Incomprehensible.
It's incomprehensibly
Can I make an
massive
argument
destiny.
because I have now developed an observational talent that I could have advantage on the roll?
No.
Fine, I got a 9.
Wait, why are you looking into
Not-
my destiny?
I'm just trying to read some of it because it's so big and
Or
just
big.
want to see
So
where
impressive.
it starts and maybe where it ends.
Actually, it's the opposite. Because you're so observant, so much of your... It's why the Weavers generally work alone. It's why getting close to people makes things difficult. Because the various tangles of fate that ensue everybody's daily lives aren't hugely important to the Weave. But the closer you are to those people, the more it matters. So everyone's decision, what they're having for dinner, what they're going to do tomorrow, their hopes, their dreams, it all intermingles. And unfortunately, disentangling many of your party members' attachment and purpose now is more difficult than it would have been previously, and you fail to comprehend.
So there are just too many people
Norma's
around.
destiny.
Okay, all right. So do I get nothing from the first one?
Nothing.
Okay.
Given that this is basically commune, I'm going to
fair
say
enough.
if you fail your rolls, it is
No,
absolutely nothing.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. Okay. Day 2?
Yep.
Okay. 11.
Lilith has shrouded much of this. You feel as though every time you reach for a thread, a hand that you do not recognize wearing a black glove rips it from
Okay.
you.
Damn. That's hot. She wears gloves. Wow,
Yes.
that's hot.
Where's black gloves? Is that like a notional, like, is that like my mind, or is it actually like a black glove in my mind?
In your mind, yeah, that one.
It's not an actual black glove that I like see. It's like my perception of what a black glove is.
Yeah,
in
perception
the
of what is
weave would look
happening
like.
as you're meditating.
Okay.
Weave. Yeah.
Great. Okay. Day 3. 15.
15.
What's this
Where
question?
and what happened?
Where and what happened when the whirlwind lantern was buried?
Whoa.
Sure. The Whirlwind Lantern is an item
Oh.
of significant history. It has affected much of Rukai, and therefore you are able to locate its path through the weave and the abruptness of its stop. And you noticed that there were various things around it, that it was clearly intentionally hidden. Many threads convey around this.
Okay.
It was intentionally hidden to keep it safe and away from the giants.
Keep it safe. Okay. The giants.
So it is likely not only buried, but protected to that end,
Okay.
if those enchantments still hold.
Would I be able to tell whether it was like? So, I don't know much about the history behind it. Was it like the Aarakocra, the Whirlwind tribe were like losing, and then they buried it as a last resort, or was it like did they use it and they lost in spite of that, or did they not use it because they wanted to keep the power safe?
They used it, they lost
Yeah.
in spite of it, because it's not
Okay.
a hugely powerful weapon. It's something that can control climate throughout the country, which is obviously more of like a macroeconomic weapon.
Sure,
It can't
sure.
do much against an invading army of giants.
Sure.
And then they hit it, basically.
And then so like they lost, and they were like, "We're going to bury our treasures, so that the giants can't have it." Okay, cool.
Very
Crush the giants with macroeconomics and soft power.
Macroeconomics. Yeah. Okay, day
What you
4
asking?
was, what is Nalaska's future if he's released?
Oh.
I got an 18.
You got 18. Cool, percentage roll, please.
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay.
That's juicy.
Come
Is my artwork
on.
good, if I remember?
Fuck. 8 is good. I got a 30.
Nalaska.
Is he going
Unless
straight to Razor?
Interrupted. Nalaska's thread differentiates far from the Stormlands. He has a future. He has a destiny that doesn't end here or anywhere near here.
Oh. Near. Okay, interesting. So I guess I get caught up, and then I'm just trying to see like whether he's immediately gonna betray or like go straight back to her after having kind of told secrets, and then basically is he a thread that's kind of tied up? Okay, cool. Last question. Fucking 19! This is the question about Casimir. What was the reason why is Casimir a fugitive from Sacramar?
I can't believe you've done this!
And I got an 82! I rolled an 82 on the percentile die.
What does he need to know?
Amazing.
What are you interested in?
Is this hacking? This feels like hacking.
It's not hacking. You don't need
He's
to
just
get all
he's
out.
just
This is-
hacked backstory doc.
He's reading up on the wiki. Stop him.
First, he's just
Spoilers.
They want to see what drove this like strange, proud, arrogant wizard from ostensibly a comfortable existence that they're clearly used to a remote place, to then sign up with a bunch of randomers. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just quite incongruous. Like, why is Casimir here? What are they running from that would lead him to give up that luxury? And is there any altruism in their motivations from what I can see, like their past?
So Clue can correct me, and I'll be vague. Casimir is running because of fear. Casimir is running from destiny.
Running from destiny.
Ooh, that is vague, isn't
His
it?
own or
Sorry.
someone else's? His own destiny.
His own.
Okay. Is he prophetic?
Sorry, clarify.
What does he have some sort of?
He doesn't know.
Foresight. He doesn't.
Like,
He didn't like
no,
see a future
but-
that he's running from.
No, but Casimir's destiny lies in Sacramar.
Okay. Interesting.
Which
And
is
he's not
interesting
there.
because should an aberrant have one? A destiny? Question mark.
And this is I would say with that role, you perhaps see that Casimir does, and your initial reading was wrong. That's perhaps what you also get from the line.
Ooh. That's big. Big if true.
And you are
Okay.
confused by your readings.
Maybe.
Because Casimir does, and Quan, I couldn't get anything. Interesting.
Throw in a bit of extra vagary as to what he's running from. Fire.
You're starting to question your
Bam.
god. Your
He's
everything.
running from fire. Literal fire?
Maybe.
If anybody wants the answers to any of these questions, watch some one-shots, but
Plug
that's
the
some
one
free
shots,
stream
plug the
one-shots.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, now that that's all spoiled, yeah, let's go to
Ooh, and manacles.
A training zone.
Those are important. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Sorry. Once you get me going
Yeah.
about backstory, you gotta
Yeah.
forcibly extract me.
let's go manacles and let's go fire. Those two things. Fear, fire, manacles, destiny.
Ooh.
So, to Casimir, could you describe some of the odd things that have been happening to you during training?
So he's had a pretty good week. He's been training with the jocks, trying to learn how to more effectively use that one decorative rapier that he carries that you've never seen him use. And he has noticed something, I think, in his time training in the yard. Whenever the lads come for him with the big old wooden swords and hit him with it, he kind of just seems to notice a kind of change, almost like a swirl in the winds around him, like there's a sudden gust that no one else seems to feel or reflects in the trees or the grass around him. And it kind of feels a bit cold and kind of sometimes it feels almost like he's stuck or can't move, right? There's this kind of strange cold weather phenomenon happening very locally to him. And the other thing I think he's noticed is that Zol is deeply depressed because he's taken nothing but L's since we met him. And this is both entertaining, but I think also, to be honest, a bit disconcerting. So I think at some point in the week, maybe he's connected a few things in his mind, and he has something he wants to try. He will march up to Fazul and say, "Okay, look. Much as I didn't like you when you were an insufferable, swaggering ogre, your depressed moping is creepy." And he kind of pauses.
Harsh. Fuck off.
But true. I have a proposition. Drop the wooden sword. Do what you're actually good at, the one thing you're good at, and hit me. As hard as you can, like you're trying to kill me. Properly, for real. Don't hold back. Everything you have.
Slightly quizzically and holds up his fist, or
No.
to go draw his sword.
No, the massive fucking great sword that's bigger than I am.
Takes out the fucking cloud sword. It's got the Buster sword. There we go. That's it. Okay. He kind of starts drawing it and kind of gets halfway. It's like, can we get like a witness so I'm not in trouble?
Hello.
I assume there are people around, right? Like
Yeah.
Quan, the
I'm also
gang.
training.
Yeah.
Looks at us. You heard him, right? If he dies,
yeah.
it's justified.
Listen, if he dies, he dies. You know.
I'm definitely here, and I will cross my arms when Rizal says that, and say, nobody is going to be dying today, this afternoon.
I'll only die if I...
Try to kill him.
Yes, as best you can. And if I do die, you can feel good about it, and if I don't die, I can feel good about it.
Huh.
Fazul looks to Quan almost for permission.
It's not my nanny, Fazul. Hit me.
He just raises his eyebrows.
This is a consensual beating between two grown men. Go for it, Fazul.
Right, Fazul draws the sword. You see a tiny bit of flame lick down the edge. Eyes go completely amber. Well, go on then. And sure, he'll take 2 strikes.
Probably like as his
First one
eyes go
is-
amber and there's a fiery sword, Casimir probably half takes a step back and just mutters, "Well, fuck, you didn't do that against Razor, did you?" As maybe for a moment he thinks he might have maybe underestimated this one, but it's fine.
Okay, that's a 28 to hit.
Yeah.
Yep, cool. That's 11. That's 11 points of slashing damage and 2 points of fire damage.
Right.
So 13 total.
Okay, so as the sword comes towards him, presumably where's he aiming? Like his head? Wherever it is.
This is more for like, he's gone for like the shoulder, so if it like cuts down into you, so it's not a lethal blow. He's still slightly unsure at this point.
I resent that he cares for my well-being. Right.
No, I think he cared for his well-being.
True. So as the sword connects, right, there's the kind of slight slice through the top. He's just wearing a training shirt, right? He wouldn't risk harm to his beautiful pearl-encrusted garments. So the shirt slices slightly. And in this moment around Casimir, you see it's almost like a localized storm that sort of whirls in a blanket around him, like sheets of rain, whirling winds. You can see the kind of pattern of the rainfall. And as it touches his skin, the storm itself freezes on contact. There's this kind of light flash of green as the rain sort of morphs into this green, translucent ice that erupts into this jagged, frozen statue, like a tomb encasing Casimir, which takes all of the damage from the sword hit. And he is left standing there. Maybe it's not the most confident pose. Like, you can tell he was having second thoughts about this one the second he saw the fiery sword come down. But he seems safe from the sword strike.
Kind of like hits. You kind of cuts a little bit through and you see it burning, and Fazul kind of takes a step back, unsure, smiles, and goes for it with the second strike. That's a 20 to hit?
Hits. Yeah. I don't have much
Okay,
AC.
4 fire damage, 7, so 11 damage total.
Mm-hmm.
And as that kind of
That'll
goes in and doesn't seem to do it, action surges. Sorry, you can taunt him Atlas if you want, and then he'll actually.
Oh no, I was gonna say I was gonna goad him into action surgery. I was just gonna, is that all you got? I know you can give. I know you got more in the tank.
And yeah, will action surge. That's a 19, which means he crits.
Disgusting.
Disgusting.
That's
Disgusting.
30 points of damage.
Oh. That 15, 11. That gets through the ice barrier as Casimir kind of steps back, and presumably another hit's coming. And he kind of blinks and goes, "Oh, fuck me."
That's a 7. 7 plus 5, 1, 3. Probably hits.
What?
16.
Yeah,
What?
and this time his own hand raises and he blocks it with the shield spell. Wait, that's also a reaction. Fuck, I can't. Nope, takes the hit.
Okay, well, I rolled really good on those last 2 ones. I rolled a 10 on the dice for the crit, so 13, 16 points of damage.
16
And
points
this
of
time,
damage.
it's like fury and anger. Doesn't realize the tube is gone, and this one slashes across your front, kind of immediately causing blood to kind of gush forth onto the training thing. He kind of steps and goes, looks over at Quan.
No.
Kind of makes me sad.
Casimir is like wearing a smile that does not belong on a mentally stable individual. He looks simultaneously incredibly pleased with himself, completely nonplussed by the fact that he currently has a sword sticking into his shoulder, and he just kind of looks up at Fazul and says, "So I'm not dead, which means you can do better, but I'm still hit, so I can do better as well. So how about we rest and we do it again?"
I mean, if you just want to be a target dummy, I'll be the most motivating target dummy I've ever had.
I need to be able to take that, and you need to be able to kill me. Can you help, actually? He kind of adds on as the pain maybe does start to hit him a little bit.
Wait, who does he say that to?
Quan. He kind of like steps back and like sword still sort of at his shoulder. Is like, "Can you do something about this before round 2, maybe?"
He kind of walks over and goes, "I think that's enough for today." And if the sword is still there, he's gonna like pointedly look at us all.
Zul's gonna sheath it. Look over at Atlas, and you got my back, right? He asked for it.
Yeah, that was awesome, man. That was nice. That was really good.
Kind of goes for the fist bump.
Yeah, I'll fist bump it. Where'd you learn to fight like that? That was great.
No. Fighting pits.
Why are we praising
fighting
Bazul
fit.
when I just summoned a storm and froze it on contact with myself with the chill of the fucking grave? Surely that's a fair bit cooler.
That was pretty good. Yeah.
It was very impressive, Casimir, but
Thank
please,
you.
I would appreciate it if you don't put yourself in unnecessary harm. And he's like looking at Mazul and looking at Atlas like, what the fuck is going on here?
Sorry, what were you gonna say?
Yeah, and with, I guess, a soft golden glow, Quan will heal 6 points of healing on Casimir's shoulder.
Thank you, Quan. I'll heed your advice, but alas, training is necessary, said Bazul. In an hour, round 2?
Jesus.
And that's
Sure.
probably how the rest of the training week goes. As he tries to put up a better Tomb of... Am I calling it Tomb of the Storms? Tomb of the Storms. Let's call it that.
Atlas, as this happens, you're slightly perturbed because off in the distance there is a clap of thunder and lightning that sets you slightly on edge.
Oh. Does it
He's
mean any like so clap
You've just
of
seen someone summon the power
thunder.
of the storm.
Right. Oh, that's concerning. Oh, that's actually very concerning. Oh no. How do I process this? All right, I'll come back to this.
Come back. In the meantime, Mercy, I'm going to say your final day is your revelation about Casimir, which you probably take a bit of time to process as well. The fact that this aberrant, as you have interpreted the weave, that's your ability, has a destiny. And you can only assume, perhaps this is how it makes sense in your head, that when you went to visit the Weavers, they said that, like leading up to Lilith's ascension, reading the weave has become almost impossible, difficult. And there must, maybe, not an error, but their ability to perceive has clearly been blinded, and there's something else happening.
So based on that, would you say that I wouldn't believe that was true about Casimir, or would I believe that was true?
You perhaps are thinking maybe you've misread something and Casimir has now been allowed to influence others and therefore destiny has become, or this once would have been Casimir's destiny if he changed, or you don't perhaps immediately go like, Casimir's destiny is not an aberrant, but something twigs in the back of mind. There is more at work here and you don't know quite what's happening.
Okay, cool.
Okay, awesome. Okay, well, is there anything else you guys want to cover in Read Home? Otherwise, we'll take a short break and we'll do you guys leaving as the next part of the session. Oh, the map. There we go. Yes. If everybody could go on roll 20, Nalaska will have presented you all with an expertly drawn, incredible rendition of the Mountain's Breath and the camp surrounding it, or at least a mining camp. Many of you will be aware of this. And sorry, this one here.
Ooh, Nalaska drew this?
Wow. He should
It's
quit his
my
day job of
artist
being a
representation.
politician.
Who gave him coloured pencils?
Just leave it. The map I
I
found.
did.
Was he supervised with the
I found
pencils?
some.
What if he tried to
I
stab
found some.
someone?
No, it's not
I
gonna
found
stab
some and I
anyone.
gave them to him.
So, that's the map for which you can plan your attack once you get there. The area on the run-up, which is slightly over to the right, is the Whispering Shelf, from which you can hear the gap on the left between the mountains. As the wind rushes through it, produces that sound, which some tribes and some people believe are the shouts and whispers of the ancestors, others believe are elemental spirits escaping through, or is perhaps just a feature of the landscape.
What a pretty little valley. He's very talented.
Indeed.
Cool.
He's incredibly talented.
But this isn't where the Whirlwind Lantern is buried, right? Or did I not
Potentially.
see? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
this is potentially where it is. Or you didn't quite know where it was buried, but you know it was buried and hidden. But that was hundreds of years ago, and this area of land is constantly subject to landslides, air erosion. It is the closest area of land to the Tempest Grasp and is therefore subject to the harshest weather conditions known on Lukai.
So this is the area around it, yeah, as well, with the little houses
Yeah.
and stuff. Cool.
Yeah, the camp that Razor has made is laid out, as well as some of the areas that the various tribes are held in, or the people that are forced to work there, as well as Razor's encampment itself. To the
Right.
north, that is where the main digging is being occurring.
Mm.
Something that you all should know as well, this is the month of Alcrest, as well as certain healing effects being stronger, as well as certain fey tricks being played. You are also aware that this is the month in which special brews of various potions and elixirs and special herbs can be found. As you travel, some roles will allow you to encounter these herbs or things, and then if you find a skilled enough apothecary, or if any of you would like to have a go, there are variations on the original D&D potions that you can attempt to make, which I will, depending on what you find and what you roll, I can talk you through, and we'll do that after the break.
We can sell
So-
them and be potion sellers.
Potion
Potion
sellers. So,
seller.
assuming that there is nothing else to do in Read Home, you will all get to the end of the week, you and Alara, after a week of preparing, bring in what you need. If there is a shopping list, send it to me. See what you can find in Read Home. Otherwise, we'll take a short break until 25 to 9.
All right, let's hit up that fan art reel.
All right, bye everyone.
Goodbye.
See you in a bit, guys. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. Hello everybody, welcome back. Thank you for joining. The group are just about to leave Read Home. They've had their tense moments with the party, they've had a training montage, they've had storms gather around their members, they've had destiny be explained, they've had intense study sessions with platonic friend Alara, maybe. Helped the needy move on, and ultimately ready to go. Upon leaving Read Home with Alara, with your various supplies, you've taken, I'm going to say, about 3 weeks worth of supplies. However, this isn't the Underdark. There is foraging. There are animals here that, should you, I think I've just said, if you're going to be in an environment where food is a problem, I'd let you know. Water, you might run out of water in 3 weeks, clean water, of which there might be a problem. But your assumption is that when you get to Mountain's Breath, there will be something there to either take or pillage or help if you're going there for Alice's tribe as well as Razor's camp. So, setting off to not make
I have a
this...
quick question, sorry.
Yes.
So, after a few days of watching Quan and Ilara spend time together, Mercy, as Atropos, would, on one of the evenings maybe that they possibly do, or bumping into Quan, to and fro stuff, he'd be like, "So, Quan, I know that notice that you and Ilara have been spending quite some time together. Are you, amorously involved?"
I beg
Are
your
you just
pardon?
asking Quan? Or is
Yeah,
Alara
yeah.
there as well?
No,
Is
just
Alara not
Quan.
there? Okay.
Just Quan. Well,
I'm sorry,
know-
what are you trying to imply with that?
well, Ilara seems to be somewhat taken by you. You've been spending some time together alone in her room, and you're an attractive man.
I can assure you when I'm spending time with Alara, it is purely for the sake of studying. Nothing else.
Biology is the
And-
subject.
I would not presume that Alara feels any particular way about me aside from trust and camaraderie.
Okay. I was just wondering because, I'd hate to intrude on something that, was a private matter between the two of you, but also possibly co-mingling between people for whom, close reliance would have to be placed in situations of high stress. Maybe romantic entanglements might not be a good idea, so...
He looks like he's just staring straight through you, like none of those words have gone into his brain. He's like, looks to be in a state of shock and his ears are bright red.
Well, I hope you enjoy your dinner. I'll see you later. Bye.
Quan could be king of the Stormlands.
He could be.
He just stays there shell-shocked for at least 5 minutes.
It's part of his massive destiny.
Sorry, that's it.
Huge destiny.
That's all.
Amazing.
Engorged destiny.
Veiny destiny.
DM, can we move on?
Do you need permission for that?
No, let's linger. No. So, upon leaving, we'll gather up your stuff. Ilara is with you. Information from Naliska land. Naliska, what do you decide to do with Naliska? He's under Malik's kind of lock and key, and Malik has Priestess Sarah looking after
I
him.
will. So I'll let the party in on my, because I planted a little wood token on him when he was being interrogated. So I'll kind of pull out a replica and say, if anyone can locate objects, there's one of these hidden on Naliska's person. So if in the future you need to find him, it's pretty well hidden. He shouldn't be able to remove it anytime soon. So I'll probably be keeping an eye on him as we go, just to, if he's within 1,000 meters of us.
That's incredibly forward-thinking of you. I was going to suggest I suspect I might have use for Naliska, at least in the future. Good. Well, if he survives the Wrath of Goat, then yes, I will seek him using that token.
Well, I did mostly do it so Goat and I could hunt him down into the Stormlands if he tried to escape and impale him on the nearest tree. But, that works too.
I thought I'd use him to further my own personal agenda, but...
If you kill him afterwards, it's probably going to be fine with Goat.
Yes,
Quan,
okay.
Could you make a Constitution saving throw for me?
Constitution?
Yep.
Yes.
Constitution.
Yes, thank you. That's a dirty 20.
30-20. As like this, there's something about this conversation that you almost feel physically sick, and you kind of cough, and like you feel vomit at the back of your throat that you need to swallow down, but you manage to keep it in.
Wait, what part of that conversation exactly?
It started at the exact point that Casimir said, "Yes, I think I could have some use for him."
Okay. Do I feel like there's anything that suggests it's the conversation? Do I feel like maybe it was something I ate, or the pressure
However,
change? Or...
I'm gonna. Quan can maybe rationalize it however Quan feels, but the more this conversation goes on about Naliska and afterwards, and that, the more uncomfortable you feel, the stronger that feeling. Something in the back of your mind can't help but nag at something wrong here.
Now, does Quan have like any physical reactions to feel? Is he somebody that like looks peaky, or does he just look shiny and fine?
I mean, I guess like, what's the extent of the sickness that I feel? Like, do I still feel like I'm gonna throw up?
Yeah, you needed to roll a Constitution saving throw to not like vomit on the floor where you stand, so it's pretty bad.
Oh wow.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, he probably looks quite pale, like...
All right, Paladin, I hope Brom's words about mistrusting you aren't weighing too heavily on you.
No, I'm not too... And he's like... looks a bit like he's gonna be sick. I'm sure it's fine. Brom's not someone I'm particularly worried about.
Only we get to tell you you're useless. I mean, you're not, but... That right is reserved to us and us alone.
You look like you're going to throw up. Was it something you ate, perhaps?
Perhaps. I do suddenly feel rather sick. Not entirely sure why. Maybe we could move on the topic. Take my mind off it, perhaps.
It's of course possible that this is the first small sabotage by Malik to slow us down, possibly, while Quan recuperates. It might be wise to wait a short time just to see whether this is going to worsen significantly.
Shit, he might have taken our idea and poisoned our food stores.
Quan
Hang on.
might be suffering some sort of poison, so it might be
Hang on,
prudent
I was
to...
there were many paladins of Talos when I was still with my clan, and while we did worship Talos, they never became struck with illness. It was impossible. They were protected. So maybe
is a good
it's some
point.
sort of reaction to something else. It couldn't be poison.
Tyr's a
Maybe it's
particularly
magic.
shit god, so makes sense.
Well, I mean, if it's not a disease or poison, then potentially an allergy.
Can I do a quick detect magic
Oh.
and see if I can see anything of magical?
Sure.
Could I
So-
insight check this?
So Pod would kind of, his hand would glow a little bit blue, and he would almost like he was like body check, like almost like a pat down at an airport, like not directly touching you, but just kind of like,
Put
Do I catch
hands above
anything?
your head.
yeah.
What's the role?
It's just detect magic, so I don't know. Am I rolling for that or?
Yeah, no. There's no magic on Quan. No. Oh, you're muted, I think.
No, I'm just thinking. Okay. It's not magical. In fact, there's no magic here whatsoever.
No magic, Jamie?
No, none whatsoever.
Am I wrong? Should there be magic?
Should there be
I
magic?
don't know. Is that okay? Never mind. It's fine.
It's quite up close and personal. Like he's going.
You can message me.
No, it's all
I
good.
missed
It's all
pause.
good.
anything.
Is
Frozen
food,
in space.
food poisoning magic? What?
It's just dependent. Being a paladin, you obviously have some magical ability. Like something must show up, right? Like, come on.
Yeah, but no magic.
Good news. You're not. No sort of magic. You could be cursed. I wouldn't know. It doesn't cover curses, I'm afraid. But it's not disease. It's not poison, and it's not magic.
There's no magic, then you're not in disguise. Sent by Malik to spy on us, like Grudel was.
Oh yeah, I would have noticed it.
Hmm.
I probably should have noticed it with Grudel, but I don't normally do this all the time. I could start doing it if that's what people would prefer.
It's exhausting, Pod, no.
Well, perhaps we should make tracks. I believe that's what they say in the Stormlands. And if Quan's condition worsens in the next sort of half an hour, then we can always make an early camp and wait for Quan to recover from this poison, allergy, whatever it is.
Yes.
I really
What if
don't want to slow down the team. I'm sure everything will be fine. Please.
Pod kind of
leave you
cocks his head
behind
slightly? He
to
goes,
die.
"Have you been drinking?" I mean, I'm not judging. It's just,
No, I have not been drinking. It's what time is it in the day? DM?
Well, maybe you're
Well, that's like leaving
dehydrated then.
midday.
It's quite
What was that
early
time?
to be drinking.
I know, but my uncle Derek would start drinking first thing in the morning, and it became a bit of a problem. And we, I'm just saying it can happen to anybody.
Well, I can.
It's
assure
nothing
you
to
I
be
have no
ashamed of,
such
you know.
problem.
Derek.
On the subject of...
I'm just saying, if you ever want to talk about it or something, I'm sure someone would. I'm
I
more than
have
happy
not
to.
been drinking.
Can I make an insight check on that as well?
You can.
Yes, well, the insight check from Atlas. Let's start with that one first. What was the insight
It's
check?
the
from
inside
Atlas?
check on hidden alcoholism.
13 for mine, and I just
What
wanted
were you trying to see?
Yeah, so when because my suspicions is that there were some paladins who worshipped Talos when I was growing up, and they were completely unaffected by diseases that swept through the clan. So I'm just kind of taking a look and seeing if there's any nervous tick after I mentioned that, maybe a bead of sweat or a bit of an eye twitch or like a finger jolt or something like that.
I think it's 13. It's difficult to say, but Kwana, I guess. Would there be anything to see?
I mean, he just looks peaky. Like, he looks pale and uncomfortable and maybe slightly concerned. Like, it's obviously not a feeling that he's used to. But I wouldn't say in particular you notice anything.
It's definitely not a hangover.
Okay. You can do the insight check for the alcoholism now.
Not me.
Thank you. Nice. I got a 21.
Juan has definitely
fine,
not been drinking. In fact, thinking back on it, you've noticed that you've never actually seen drink a sip of alcohol before. And thinking back to the last time that you guys had drinks, he was in fact pretending to drink the ale. So you're quite certain that he does not have a problem with alcohol.
Yeah.
But if he drank anything, he would definitely have a problem because he never drinks.
But on
He
the
would be
basis of my
dehydrated.
10, I think Mercy believes that Quan has a secret allergy to something that he's embarrassed about sharing.
It's a wall.
Right. So, assuming that's where we
Yeah, on the subject of leaving, Keen Mind's precise recollection of stuff leaves after a month. So at some point in the week, I guess I would have looked for some area maps on the way up to Mountain's Breath and done some memorizing so we can keep up with that whole walking navigator thing.
Make a history check.
A history check?
Yeah.
A history check. Well, I need to get my dice out. Okay. That is... History is int, isn't it? 16.
Okay, you can maintain it. That's fine.
Sick.
Cool. Okay. On your first go out, you guys have your maps, you have your ideas, you know where you're going, you can leave, read home. Take a note that if you take a reasonable amount of time, it's going to take 2 weeks to get to your destination through the heart of the Stormlands. There are various settlements, various potential encounters as we go along, which will all be decided by your rolls. So, we're going to do this where we'll have different people rolling, but we'll perhaps keep the same bonuses as if one person was leading. So I'm not going to be like, Atlas has the highest survival score, so Matt makes all these checks. Someone else can make the roll, but just using Matt's bonus. I think it's Atlas's bonus. I think it's the best way, so it's not just Atlas the whole time. Mm-hmm. However, in this case then, for the first day of travel, could somebody please make a survival check using whichever who you think would actually be leading's bonus?
Do we get a DC reduction for knowing where we're going, cause maps and stuff, or can I use the spell borrowed knowledge?
How much is your plus to survival? Huh?
9.
Oh, okay, yeah, I have 5. You're
Oh,
way
damn.
better than me.
I'll
roll a d20.
Go for it.
It's gonna end badly, but I'll do it. Let's go. It's an 11, so that's a dirty 20, I guess. There you go.
First day goes by, no issues whatsoever. You guys find a safe, efficient path through the swamp, avoiding hazards. Journey relatively quick. But it's the first day, you're in good spirits. You've been through this
Odd
path.
will be
You know
asking
where
the
you're
trees for
going.
directions.
Often contradicting where you're actually going, but it's fine. You keep going.
When
yes.
we left, had the other party left already?
No.
Okay.
Blackers.
Second roll. Second day. So we are now on the 11th of Alcrest. Somebody wants to take the 11th roll.
I'll roll. Oh, Mercy will roll.
Oh no, sorry, I wasn't rolling for that.
All right, I'll roll.
Importance.
28.
28. An exceptionally high
Jesus
roll.
Christ.
You find a safe, efficient path through. There is no problem. And, if you wouldn't mind, could you roll a D? Where have I got it? Where have I put it somewhere? Could you roll a D8 for me?
3.
3. Despite your excellent navigation, there is a thunderstorm, and that makes things a little difficult. And as you go through,
Fucking
you
Talos.
manage to duck in and out of the thunder, in and out of the storms, making your way through until you settle down. And when you settle down, you notice
Praise
that
Talos, boys.
there is a
Don't
small
praise Talos.
flower next to where you settled your camp that shimmers as tiny sparks ignite between each of the petals dancing round. Which could somebody make a nature check?
Nature, is that that's an int thing? All right, I'll pop for that. And I might also use the spell Borrowed Knowledge to give myself proficiency as I commune with the local dead in the area and learn things that they previously knew, and the spirits help me out with it.
Mm-hmm.
So that is not very good, but it's 6 plus 8, so that's 14.
And you know the name of this. You know that this is called, and I realize this is one of the least original on my list, which, forgive me, is a storm bloom.
A
Flower
storm bloom.
blooming only during thunderstorms, during Alcrest. Petals shimmer with tiny sparks, differentiating itself from others. You know it's rare. With that roll, though, you don't know what it gets made into. And I would say that you, as the party, can collect 3 samples of this. So 3 storm bloom
Nice.
samples. They'll be made into elixirs or sold later.
I feel like I'm picking herbs in WoW, ready to go to my alchemy.
Yes.
Alchemy town.
Is any of you an actual herbalist? Or do you have experience mixing together regions?
Harper says, make very different kind of potions if you get Mad Rift.
I'm more of an
Fuck,
embalming
I'll
fluid kind of
jump.
guy.
Obviously, I didn't see you there. How long?
No.
Very quiet. It's
I'll
almost
be-
like you're Groodle once again.
Yes.
Maybe he is.
That guy didn't have to impersonate you, did he? So, Alara doesn't know either. Alara's study has not got that far. It was not deemed importance. Could the next person, your day 3, the 12th of Alcrest, please make a roll for survival?
Oof.
What gets added to that?
No. I think Mercy's
Oh,
roll
that's
importance.
Mercy's roll. Alright, I'll do it.
Sorry. Ignore me.
What do we add to it?
9.
11 plus 9 is 20.
Okay, another uneventful day. At this point, I'm going to introduce what I introduced last campaign, which is that we can do individual rolls for each individual day, or you can gamble, which is that you combine multiple days together, and then if you succeed, you will obviously get better rewards. If you roll poorly, they will be worse. And this is when I made everyone fight a death tyrant.
We nat one our gamble,
They
didn't
rolled
we?
a nat 1. You did.
Gamble.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
So
I'm
I
done.
you have
love chance.
21 days remaining. How many do you wish to gamble?
Ooh.
10.
25.
10. I like 10.
10's good.
Oh, you guys.
Alright, Si, hit up that roll button.
No, fuck no. I'm not going to be responsible for a TPK at this point. Someone else could do it.
Who's the last person to roll survival?
No, I did. So I'm out.
Is it me?
It's you. Mr. Portent Roller.
Yeah, you should know. You should know how this is gonna go.
Wait, can you use your portent on
Can I use my portent on this?
What, over a 10-day roll? Hell no.
Well,
You'd
I'd
be
get-
lucky once.
I get
You're
20.
traveling the entire
I
day.
get 20 portents over that period. Come
yeah, for
on.
a specific roll. This is like a roll for the entire day.
Statistically, one of those 20s is likely to be a 20.
Will you give me advantage?
Roll.
You plus 9.
Okay. Okay.
20. Reasonable. Understandable. Not high, in the sense that you don't get extra stuff.
It's middle.
What hell does a 20 not
No,
high?
it's good. 20 is like you pass all the checks, but nothing exceptional, which is good. There's no hazard you encounter. You take the path. You know where you're going. You don't get lost. You travel reasonably quickly. One thing that you do travel with is notable. On the 9th day, you're making your way through the Stormlands. You are lost. No, sorry, not lost. You are aware of where you are, but there is not civilization around you. And you go to make camp. You sit there. And there is a small... As you're all sitting there, all of you hear the sound of thunder far off in the distance. As almost the ground begins to shake beneath you.
Praise Talos.
Goodness. What do you think that
As you
was?
step out of your... Sorry, go on.
No, just asking vaguely to the group.
And as you step out, all of you kind of curious about what that was, off in the distance, there is a smaller than the others, tree. About 5 feet high. That seems to have a storm cloud above it, but also snow drapesing through each of its leaves downwards, and thunder striking around it. A complete anomaly. Like a weather anomaly. You're not sure if it's an illusion, but on the other side of the clearing where you've decided to be camp, there is this strange apparition.
We should check that out.
What the fuck? I'm going to cast... I'll detect magic this time. I'll do that one. Yeah, I think it's a ritual thing, right? I can ritual cast it. Do the wizarding.
Do the wizarding?
Yeah.
Do it.
We hit up detect magic.
Detect magic. Sure. So Tazmir will spend 5 minutes, during which time the sound of rumbling grows louder. The lightning strikes around this tree intensify. It is divination magic on the tree.
Divination magic on the tree?
Yeah.
Divination magic, interesting.
Can I try to read Pod's future? What would happen if he touched this tree?
Why me?
Yeah, make a
Most
roll.
likely to put his hand on something dangerous.
Most likely to put
16.
his hand on a
Yeah, I
tree.
can't argue with that.
16, roll a percentage rise, dice.
Okay. Fuck me sideways. If I were rolling divine intervention, that would have been
That would
so
have been a
good.
smash.
It would have been
Smash.
it would have been a real help. Alas, it's a 2.
Stavros would have just been like, yeah, you just fucking kill him. So,
Alright.
Pod touching this, there is twisting futures and potential ahead of him. Pod's path becomes uncertain. More
Is his-
so than the certainty to which you have ascribed to his path right now.
Yeah, so basically his path is pretty certain, and this would skew that more than usual.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Yes,
So I'd
you,
be-
you cannot tell any of the possibilities.
So I'll be like, Pod, I have looked into your future. Were you to take hold of this tree, and I believe that any number of possible futures could await you. I saw one where you choked on the snow which fell from the clouds. There was one where you were struck by lightning. There was one where you became the lightning. I saw a future where you were sucked into the tree and became part of it. There was one where you disappeared entirely. I also saw a future where you were gifted incredible strength, like that of an oak. I saw a future where you were turned into a sheep.
How quickly did you view all of these futures, Mercy? Did that sort of rush into your head all at once? Do you have to process all of that at the same time?
Yes.
Wow.
Just this tree.
That
what if
tree.
I touched that? What if I touched that tree? What
Well,
if
I
you
didn't.
did?
Okay, give me a moment.
Pod, I think you should touch the tree. I'm not gonna lie. It seems like a good idea.
He kind of like looks up, like the idea of choking on snowfall and like being struck by lightning, and he kind of walks towards the tree and raises his shield above his head, and then like reaches out and like touches the tree with one finger.
Oh my god.
Make a wisdom
Like very-
saving throw. Make a wisdom
A
saving throw for it.
a wisdom saving throw. All right, cool. Oh, I rolled a 3, but that's an 11 with my modifier.
Okay. Above the clouds, the actual clouds, not just around this thing, Pod's finger ignites a lightning bolt that shoots straight up, and there is a form that appears in the clouds of like a humanoid figure standing within them. That you,
Please tell us.
Pod, hear a bellowing in your
Yeah.
hand say, "You renounce Kalimor."
Doesn't it laugh?
you?
You said, "Who are you?" Or
No, he said, "You
Do you?"
renounce Kalimor, do you?"
I guess his response would be pausing it. What? Just like that?
The question rose, "Do you?" Louder, more forceful questioning.
I mean, if it's an open question, then I guess I probably don't. No.
Pod is flung backwards away from this and slams into the tree next to Pod, next to Mercy.
Okay, I didn't
that'll
foresee
be-
that happening.
That'll be Talos, God of Storms,
Kind of like
then.
shakes himself off and goes and picks up his shield, which has been flung sideways. He goes, "Oh, well, I think I might not have the god that they were expecting as a follower. I feel like I'm not necessarily part of the club of tree touches that they were expecting."
Did we all saw that, right?
Yeah.
Was the
and heard
voice
it.
that of Talos from the temple?
Yes.
Please tell us.
Oh, that was Talos, God of Storms.
I did think he could have been. I wasn't sure, but you know, as soon as I made contact with the other tree, I kind of figured it was probably something a bit
don't-
powerful.
I don't suppose you were imbued with incredible strength.
Just kind of looks at his arms and like figures how heavy his shield was. Goes, I don't think so, no, but I do. My head is
Mercy.
ringing a little bit.
Mercy,
Those of
being
you-
imbued.
Those of you with slightly higher perception will probably have noticed that Atlas is probably on the verge of a battle cry. And probably
Verge of
already-
Mercy.
tears.
When you said imbued with incredible strength as a result of touching the tree, of communing with Talos. Fantastic. He's going to walk past.
No.
And
We
go
should-
touch the
we need
tree.
to- Oh, we should burn this
I'm
tree
touching
down.
the tree. It's already on
We should-
fire. Atlas, the tree is burning. Touch it.
I didn't look into your future. Oh,
Atlas, what do you do?
Man. I'll let Casimir because I've just seen Pod get flung away. And Talos is fickle. I think Talos might just throw Casimir back and Casimir might learn a lesson for once.
I won't ever learn a lesson.
Okay.
Not a single lesson this campaign.
Casimir, as you reach out, the lightning on the tree kind of coalesces and reaches forward to you in the same way it did to Pod.
Mhm.
the message is different,
Oh,
as you don't have a god.
I don't fight with Cannonball, no.
This world takes more strength than it gives you. The trees deny themselves nothing that makes them grow. No rainfall, no sunshine, no blood upon the snow. And a dagger drops on the floor next to the tree.
The dagger drops on the floor next to the tree.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh.
Would
Pick it up.
does a shadowy figure appear as well?
No?
Oh.
Oh, the figure's still above you in the
Oh,
clouds.
okay. Can I make an attack roll against it? I want to shoot my bow.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
Alright.
Against the figure.
Yeah. Fuck this guy. Oh,
you-
that's
Oh
20.
my god.
Fuck's sake.
Wow.
Roll damage.
Wow. Atlas really hates Talos.
I fucking hate Talos, you guys. You have no idea. So that's 10, 12, and then plus 4, 16 points of damage.
Okay. This boat flies off into the air, and you kind of see it do nothing until you see a lightning, like part of the storm kind of slashes, and you see the arrow still flying until it hits something that almost pierces with light. And just for a moment, the tree and the dagger vanish. And could you make a dexterity saving throw, Atlas?
Oh, yeah.
No.
19.
We lose our cool
Okay.
dagger.
Okay. Fails the check.
Oh shit.
Whoa, that was our first magical item drop. What are you doing?
It was bad. It was Talos is a bad.
You
bad
know, that's
god.
what his character would do.
Okay. A lightning bolt slams down on top of Atlas. Let me just find my dice rollers.
Goodbye, guys.
See you next
This is how you leave the campaign.
Special
Smitten from the sky.
guest, Matt.
And thank you for joining us.
It was a pleasure. You know,
He literally
high
got
praise.
smoked. Smited.
Smoot.
How many D8s
Look,
do you
you
roll
do
as
it-
part of this actual divine smite?
Fine.
I
I-
didn't expect this. I'm just getting up the rolls for lightning bolt 5e.
It's 8d6.
It's not
win.
8d6 if it's cast at upper level.
Okay, if it's cast
It's cast
upper
by
level,
Talos,
it's not.
God of Storms, yeah.
If it's cast by Talos, God of Storms, it's probably not.
It's probably quite a
Yeah, let's
few
try
D8s,
more
isn't
like
it?
14 d6.
Well, that's...
Jesus Christ.
Wait, why am I doing this in anything other than roll 20? I'm just dumb.
bit silly, isn't it?
D20.
I'm gonna cast absorb elements to give myself resistance.
That's the least you can do.
Okay, so you're gonna take 47 plus 19, 66 points of damage. Halved.
Nice, easy.
You're alive,
As that
right?
bolt slammed in, you see
Oh,
each
I'm
of the
alive.
tattoos. Yeah, each of the tattoos upon Atlas flare as kind of hunkers down, and even though it slams in, some of it kind of slams in. And Atlas, you stand up and you are singed, you are burnt, you are crackling from the energy you've absorbed, but you are
just
still just about standing from a 9th level lightning bolt.
Wow.
Whoa.
You just survived a
as-
god.
As the tree reappears.
Oh, it
As
does?
does the
I'll just fucking hold my finger up and be like, yeah, that's what I fucking thought. Some god you are. And
What did it sound like?
angry
What,
rumbling in distance.
what did he say?
He said
Something about blood on the
this
snow?
this world takes more strength than it gives you. The trees deny themselves nothing that makes them grow. No rainfall, no sunshine, no blood upon the snow.
All right, I'm gonna pick up the dagger. Is it magical? I
Yeah.
still have detect magic on.
I thought
No.
the dagger got flown away.
Oh, is it still there?
The tree and the dagger got resummoned as soon as Atlas got hit by the lightning
It's
bolt.
like a blip
was
in the
just what was
divine
happening. I
image.
mean,
The
yeah.
burning bush glitched. Okay. I'll say, well, if the world's giving, then I'm all for the taking. The
tree is covered in snow, if you remember.
I've rather enjoyed your gift so far, I assume. And I'll stab my hand and give it a little bit of blood as way of thanks and hope that it gives
Okay,
me
that's
more
the blood.
power.
The blood just kind of drips from you. You see it condense on the snow, it begins to melt around it, and kind of immediately begins to evaporate around it as it kind of sinks into the earth. There's the rumbling off in the distance kind of intensifies as thunder begins slamming, and you can see the light through there. And all of you hear, "With this, you bind." And suddenly there is complete silence everywhere. There is not a sound. There is no falling leaves. You can almost see the thunder pause, as if the very sky has frozen. And could you all roll a perception check for me?
5.
18.
18.
16.
18.
Mercy?
9.
9. Unfortunately for Mercy, and the other rest of you, the 15, you don't see. None of you who's rolled under a 15 see this, but the rest of you do. A smaller figure, cloaked, appears in the sky. Still huge, but far enough away that it doesn't appear it. But compared to the huge figure of Talos next to it, Talos' avatar, however he's choosing to present himself, this figure carries an immense tome, wearing a brown cloak, completely sparse, looks to almost be ragged. The tome itself, much more inlaid with gold bindings, lettering on it that you can't see, gold embroidery, pages fluttering as if there's a wind, but there's no wind right now. Everything is paused. Hands clasped to this tome. But in this case, the thing that seems innocuous is this tome is bound to this person, but not by chains or blood. Sorry, not by chains or rope or anything like that, but their own veins and blood that almost seems to be ripping from their forearms and from inside their cloak and chest that bound this book. But also one of them reaches out to Talos, and the rest drip down through their feet, downwards into Lukai, spreading out as if roots through a tree. And these two seem, the figure, Talos, the only thing that moves in this moment, turns to this figure. And whatever exchange happens is intelligible or impossible to the rest of you. And this feels like it lasts a long time, this immense silence that overwhelms all of you. And those of you, the 3 of you who rolled over 15, can see this figure and Talos conversing. I think it's Arvis, Mercy, Casimir. You're confused. You're looking around. You don't know what's happening.
I
But it
want my
couldn't have been more than a
power.
couple of seconds. And in that moment, everything stops. And Casimir, you are thrown back as that figure disappears, as the sound of rain, as the sound of thunder, as the sound of lightning continues. The tree disappears. The dagger remains in your hand. But Casimir, you hear, and only you are for another. And you are slammed into a tree. And that is, and the sky above returns to whatever it was before this begun. And each of you stand around, unsure of perhaps what you've seen or what has just happened.
I laugh.
Atlas, are you okay?
I've never felt better. As the crackling in my hands slowly dissipates as I kind of transfer into my brass dragon on my shoulder. I just shot a piece of shit god. I couldn't feel better.
Well, it looked like a cloud in the form of some sort of being.
That was Talos.
What about
recognize-
the other guy?
I see. What
Don't know
other
about
guy?
the oth-
It was
did we see the other guy? Oh, we did
guy
see
in the
other guy.
sky, and Pod would begin to explain. Like, he had like a big book, and I'm gonna sound like I'm making this up, but I promise I'm not making this up. He had like his veins were like connected to the book. It was, and then down to the earth. It was kind of creepy, actually. It really screwed up,
Odd.
actually.
I don't know about him.
I'm sure you did, but you hit your head pretty hard when you got thrown into that tree.
That is a good point. Yes, that is a very good point.
And there was already, I saw a figure etched in cloud against the sky, but it seemed like some sort of entity, silhouette of Talos, perhaps.
Was I the only one who rolled high enough to see this thing?
No, I saw it as well.
Oh, okay.
No,
okay.
Quan did as well.
Oh, yeah. But I guess he would actually disengage from explaining this and probably write it off as if like it was some sort of concussion,
And, there was a lot.
like hallucination.
Atlas was struck by a lightning from the sky, which seemed.
Mercy, didn't you see the other figure as well?
No,
I say as my eyes are like I've got bloodshot eyes from being struck by lightning.
Either we both hallucinated the same thing, or it was actually there. And both situations are about as likely as each other.
Yeah, they both seem quite plausible.
Yeah.
Did anyone else see this figure with a book in the sky?
DM, that voice that spoke directly to me, was that Talos's voice?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Casimir's very quiet, uncharacteristically so. He's just sort of staring at his bloodied hand, maybe. And not saying very much, I think.
See,
Sorry, the dagger is still there. It's different than the one you cut your hand with, Casimir. It's much nicer. The blade kind of continues to shimmer, and kind of as you look at it, it almost seems to, as you turn it, almost seems to represent a stormy sky. The edge crackles faintly with static electricity, and there is a small blue sapphire in the hilt. I sent you the description of the dagger, but it does. However, sorry, Mercy, go on.
these phenomena are a symptom of Casimir in this world and Razor. While they are alive, they will continue to cause ripples. That is why this tree appeared to us. I don't know what other figure you saw, but it seems like another apparition of some description. I only saw the one. You were struck by lightning. You had been thrown against a tree.
I must say, I have talked to a lot of trees in my time, and none of them have ever done that to me. That was actually a first, which is rare for trees. I'm rarely ever surprised by trees.
I was to be bound to Talos, to receive his power, to kill Razor, to do what I need to get done, and it was stopped. Something stopped him. Something stopped Talos from giving me the strength to do what I want.
Good.
do you
Pod just kind
mean,
of looks over
good?
at Atlas and goes,
People take
How
power
do you
from
mean?
gods all the time.
How do you mean, Kazza? It's to prevent a god, one of the prime, from bestowing their power on a mortal. What could do that?
Another god, no? I don't know, you're the one...
Me.
Yes.
I did.
It's-
I did.
Is
I
it
did
not
shoot-
more like? Is
It
it not
was-
more likely that your blessing was somewhat poisoned by the fact that Atlas attempted to shoot at the manifestation of Talos, Talos was displeased and rejected your offering of worship.
In which case, he kind of stands up and he looks at Atlas with the dirtiest expression you have ever seen on him. You've denied me strength, which I need. Don't do it again.
You need more than strength.
I disagree. Strength, power is the only thing I do need.
There are many who have led with that belief and lost their way.
With great power comes great responsibility, Casimir.
I doubt I could lose my way. Where I'm going.
Ah,
is
my Uncle
quite
Ben
clear.
said the same thing.
He must have been a very goal-oriented individual.
Mercy, this obviously you're convinced Pod hit his head, didn't know anything, but you recognise that description.
Do I?
Yeah.
You do? Is that what Savras looks like?
Fuck Savras!
Savras.
I want my fucking warlock
Is Savras
level!
a weird veiny man? Is that what he is?
Do I recognise
It's
the
like the
blood?
thread-
Is he
What
umbilically
about it?
connected
It's
to
like
a
the
book?
man with the book.
The hooded man holding a book containing everybody's destiny or fates bound to it by blood.
Okay. All right. I don't say anything. I probably ponder it and think about. Or maybe like as I'm like helping Casimir. Like, great power comes great responsibility, and I think over. Pod.
Mhm.
Did you say he had veins going into the book?
Yeah. Well, could have been an artery. I don't really know. I didn't really get to see from a distance far enough what kind of blood vessel it was, but it was definitely veins and some capillaries. I mean, it's like
Looked it was
forearm
connect-
onto a
looked
big
like it was
book, and I guess
connected.
Pod would begin to describe with a. What did I get? I got an 18. So with the kind of, assuming decent, he's good at explaining things. He talks a lot. So whatever a level roll 18 explanation would be for that.
Did the figure holding the book do anything?
He nod. He seemed to have some sort of acknowledgement between him and Talos.
Yeah, it looked like they addressed each other.
Like they knew each other, which I assume someone of that who could fly in the sky and was that big would probably, know gods, I guess. It'd be weird if you were that kind of powerful where you're really big and you could fly around and you didn't know any gods. Like, I guess at that
Small
point you'd probably be
circle.
excluded or something, which...
Talos said something. He said I was for another. What do you suppose he meant by that? Baal or Merkel? I suppose storms and lightning aren't
You see,
really
you see Pod kind of like bristle up a little bit at the mention of those names. He's like, "No, definitely, surely not. No way, no way."
No, I don't know why those names were the first to come to mind.
Yeah, I don't know either. You should probably forget them immediately.
Oh, there was a third one, wasn't there?
I've got to say, Merkel, I suppose, is sort of my aesthetic, but it's something that doesn't quite jive,
Is it all the bones? Maybe the undeath? I don't know.
No, the undeath is obviously fine. Maybe it's a bone thing. I'm not much of a
Obviously
bone.
fine. I don't think it's obviously
not
fine.
much
I
of
think
a
obviously
bone
might be a little
guy.
bit of an overreaction, perhaps, The wrong adjective, perhaps?
We're talking to a necromancer pod. Of course the undeath is fine. Look. Let's find a dagger at least. I'll stick it in Razor's eye and let that be my prize from Talos. Just grumbles off. He looks very down put that he didn't get his warlock pack to an evil god.
You still get your tomb.
I still got my tomb, yeah. Actually, he probably even tests it. He probably turns to Quan and is like, Quan, punch me.
Sorry?
Please.
Guy loves to get hit.
No, I don't think I will. Are you feeling okay, Casimir?
Yes, well, if you won't mercy, Atlas, any takers?
Wham! I'll hit him.
I'll just...
I will try and block the punch.
Okay.
You can increase. I'll count you as having half cover, Casimir. Khan attempts to block you.
Really,
yeah.
Quan's size and breadth means full cover.
Right.
His big Dorito shoulders.
That's a natural 20.
Oh my god!
Right, as you go to stop, you are brushed aside by Atlas, empowered by the storm and the fact that he just punched a god. He's like, Casimir, fuck
I have
this guy.
I have tried to put
Empowered?
myself in between Casimir and like this fucking guy that's
Also, empowered. Like, if I get punched in the face, I'm not empowered by fists. Like, you know, that's not how empowering
By the
works.
storm. No, he's empowered by the storm.
He was struck by lightning and almost died. That's not being empowered
Dude, just
by the
be a
storm.
14d6
He
lightning damage and live.
He absorbed the elements.
I'm just saying, like, it depends on empowering. Like you know, people are empowered by rhetoric. I'm not empowered by
What?
being stabbed. I'm not empowered by knives. You know, like.
What doesn't kill you
Nice.
makes you stronger in D&D, literally, apparently.
Okay, fine. Okay, yeah, I guess so.
He's got the,
Someone's
he's
stabbing
powered up,
you.
he's
Huh.
super safe.
Stop empowering me. You're empowering me with your blade. So much more
You're-
powerful than you could ever imagine.
You're only making me stronger.
I'm empowered by bullets.
But anyway, he needs to take some kind of triggering damage, so if this causes
Oh,
triggering
yeah.
damage...
It definitely will. So you take 6 points damage.
Good, he's using it to test that he still has the ability to control little localized freezing storms, so he freezes himself in the tomb of grave ice, with his middle finger up at Atlas, mad he lost his warlock power. For 6 seconds.
I'll reciprocate the middle finger, as you're now frozen, I guess.
When he comes out of it...
So,
11.
the thunder, there's almost like a sadness as the storms around you recede.
Oh,
With all of that, you guys perhaps take some time, make some food, begin to camp down. Come on.
Yes, I guess if we're all having dinner, which I probably would have made, question mark, assumedly,
Unless you want horse jerky from me.
no, I think we're good. At the end of the meal, Quan is gonna suddenly stand up. And very awkwardly, he's going to thank everyone for the meal, even though he was the one that made it. Take 2 cups of water and look for Alora, who is presumably pottering around
Yeah,
near
yes.
her tent.
Oh, that was rather eventful, wasn't it?
Yes, yep, you can certainly say that. And he passes a glass of water to Alora. I just thought I'd bring, and he just awkwardly tapers off, handing her the glass of water.
She drinks it and kind of almost braces for a second. She goes, oh, I thought that was going to be stronger, but water's probably what I need. Thank you, Quan.
Yeah,
Atlas
he
is
looks.
okay.
He looks over his shoulder to see if anyone is listening, and awkwardly looks back and kind of tries to whisper and says, "So, it has come to my attention that perhaps there's a misunderstanding that I have behaved inappropriately when we have been alone, and you have been helping me study. And I just want to say that that surprises me, and I'm incredibly sorry if that has made you feel uncomfortable. And if you need any space, I will happily give that to you.
Laura goes bright red. Um, no, I mean, I offered, so it's my fault, actually. You shouldn't worry about it at all. And no, I really like spending time with you, and it's totally fine, and it's not appropriate at all. As friends. I'm really happy to see you get better. You've done really well at studying.
Well, I'm glad you don't feel awkward about it. And
not awkward at
is
all.
also like stuttering as well. Giga a lot.
I'm really glad we had this clarification. Who did somebody speak to you?
Well, Mercy brought it to my attention that perhaps it wasn't the most appropriate of me to have been spending time with an unwed lady such as yourself.
The line between gentleman and incel is so fine.
I mean, I'm only helping you study. I don't feel weird about it continuing if you don't.
Yes.
Bright red.
I'm glad to hear that, and I just want to clarify that your virtue is safe in my company.
At the mention of her virtue, Elara. My what?
I'm gonna try that pickup line in the future, see how it goes.
Honest cherry magic.
Do you think I get reported to HR if I said to
Your virtue is safe
with me, my lady?
Great. Well, I'm glad we've cleared up this misunderstanding, and Quan just promptly walks away from Alara.
Laura disappears back inside her tent. And is not seen until the morning. Where she consciously takes the other side of whatever party it is to Quan. Completely. Probably still red-cheeked of embarrassment.
Oh.
Can I talk to Ilara? Maybe the
Yes.
morning after.
Don't
Yep.
you fucking stir the pot, you
I just
fucking
like wait outside, like creepily, just cross-legged, waiting outside her tent.
Oh yeah, you said, oh Mercy, my virtue's fine.
No, Ilara, I noticed that you were in distress. I just wanted to say that it was a brave thing, and I'm very sorry if you're upset. I understand that romance, and particularly a romantic romance between creatures, is important and can have deep and long-lasting
Creatures.
impacts on you. So if you would like to talk about it, I would be willing to hear what you have to say.
Make a persuasion roll.
Important,
Jesus.
important. Good one.
Oh, poor.
Okay. All right. Is it the day after? I'm gonna
Yeah, it's
new
the
day.
after, yeah. It's
Rate
also
our
good.
parties,
come on,
Riz.
come on, let's have some good ones.
I use the 18, and I have no modifier.
Plus, it looks at you. She looks at Mercy, weighted up. Do you do you think he was just being polite, or do you think he likes me?
Well, Quan is quite a polite man, and I think he does like you very much.
Okay, that's good to know. Thank you, Mercy.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm given to understand that people with broken hearts usually cry a lot. So if you would need to cry, feel free.
But you said he likes me.
He does.
Why would my heart be broken?
Well, I may have misunderstood. Have a good day. I just turn and walk away.
I'll walk over to Mercy and hand them some tea and I'll be like,
Is the undead revenant the only member of our party capable of even talking to a woman?
oh,
What is that? What does Atlas say to me?
I'll just hand you a tea and be like, that was good. You know, it's good to make sure the people around you are well kept for. You know.
Oh yes, psychological health and functioning is as important as the physical. Mind over matter is important, and so if one is unbalanced both spiritually and physically, or either, it can disrupt the other, if you see what I mean. So I want Quan and Ilara to be in harmony both with themselves and with each other. It's important so that when it comes to fighting, they're at the peak of their possible capabilities.
I completely agree with you, and you know, I've got pretty good hearing, so you know, hearing them day after day, I was sure there was something going on. So I'm glad you've talked to Quan about this.
Well,
you know.
it's possible that in the heat of battle, if a romantic relationship between Quan and Ilara would allow it to develop further, that it might lead to situations where Quan would endanger other members of the party, or potentially put the interests of his beloved ahead of those of more vital nature. For example, if Quan were faced with a choice between saving Ilara and taking the Gale Whirlwind Lantern from Razor, he might make the wrong choice, and it's my absolute duty to make sure that everyone makes the correct choices.
Well, I think we should support Quan in making the right choice for himself. If Quan chooses Ilara, which I think he should, if that situation comes about, then we should.
No. That's. I understand your misunderstanding. Quan's health and peace of mind is important, but he must make the correct choice, which is to destroy Razor.
Oh, of course, but
and unfortunately, his romantic relationship with Ilara must come secondary. As for everyone, there can be no other priorities.
Oh, well, I'll sit and I'll kind of just nod my head solemnly and sit and drink some tea with Mercy.
Is this an earshot? What is this around the campfire?
Yeah, can I hear this?
Casimir
I guess it's like
maybe nods sagely at the tail end of that conversation and says, yes, romance is a terrible thing, deeply impracticable, to be avoided at all costs, really. But I suppose if it would be good for him, yes, he probably should just sleep with her and, you know, agree, draw a line under the romance.
Oh, hello, Casimir.
Sorry, I was listening in. I don't know why I felt compelled to listen into that conversation.
No, I think you may have misunderstood what I was saying. I was actually saying that Quan should not engage in sexual intercourse with Ilara.
Oh, well, you can do that without having any romantic interest in a person at all, right? Sex is a useful tool. It's a method of controlling other people.
Oh, really?
What the fuck?
Oh,
What
okay.
the fuck? Can you guys just stop?
He kind of continues, yes, I find romance is entirely useless and really a mistake. But of
There's not a
course.
single person in this party that's worth taking advice from.
Okay. Well, in that case, then I have no opposition to Quan and Ilara engaging in that kind of. My priority is to make sure that when it comes to making choices, Quan puts stopping Razor ahead of any romantic entanglement. But it sounds like that's entirely possible.
It can be entirely transactional, yes. In fact, I recommend that it ought to be entirely.
Maybe I should talk to Alara and let her know that this is possible.
She might find that.
I think you should.
Yes.
No.
But
you should definitely tell her that he wants a transactional relationship.
Sort of
Go down really well.
Friends with benefits, sort of thing, you know.
Casimir, I'm not entirely familiar. I know a lot about. I've heard a lot about romance, and I've read some romantic tales of princesses and princes. Could you tell me more, perhaps over breakfast, about a transactional sexual relationships?
Absolutely.
I'll listen in. I don't really know much about that.
That is a promise, and I shall look at Alara the entire time.
I'll just listen in like
breakfast. To be clear,
I'll listen. I will listen in horrified though as Casimir goes through that.
Yeah,
I listen attentively. I'm like, oh, really? So mortals and then they leave. Interesting.
Well,
Is this over breakfast? Okay, so sorry. Are we at breakfast now with me there, and you're talking about friends with benefits?
Right? Yeah, I think maybe maybe he just plucks the topic.
No, we're talking about
of...
the transactional transactional nature of these kind of.
I think maybe Casimir waits for the next breakfast when everyone is sat there, so it's as painful as possible for Quan and Alara, and he just plucks the topic out of thin air and says, "So, Mercy, the other day you asked me about transactional sex. So let's talk about how you just sort of like details various scenarios where you could use it to get people maybe to like you more than they really ought to if they knew what was good for them, and maybe they'll feel more inclined to do things for you, or maybe it will make you collectively stronger." And he paints himself in a pretty bad light.
And it's like very attentive, and he's like, okay, so sex as a weapon.
Right, weaponized intimacy, that's the one.
No, Mercy, you're learning the wrong lessons. I don't think you should be listening to Casimir on this.
The fewer feelings, the better.
But Casimir, he says that this is common among mortals.
I think so.
I wouldn't know. My experiences are limited to my clan. I don't know what it was like where you're from, Casimir, but actually, was it? Oh no, there were some people in the clan. Oh no, yeah, sure, yeah.
Oh,
but
okay.
yeah, no, I'm remembering, and I'm on board with this now.
Right, a sort of eve before battle thing.
Laura sits down. What are we talking about?
It's not for me, but
using sex as a weapon between people who
just
have no
before
romantic...
Mercy can finish their sentence, Quan slams down on the table and says, "I don't think that this is appropriate breakfast conversation. If we could please move on the topic."
Why are you not? Are you not sex positive, Quan?
What did I say?
Don't we have a barbarian queen to deal with?
And maybe this will help us do it.
Sex as a weapon?
Almost certainly. She's been
maybe Casimir
married.
Can sleep with her.
I thought she was into men. I might give it a try.
Do you think genuinely that it's possible to use sex as a weapon to entrap her in somehow?
Yes, I mean, if she feels so inclined to Lara, if she happens to only be interested in women, perhaps you could give it a go.
Well, if it's women she's interested in, and then
of course,
Mercy will shapeshift into what's my name? My other name? Amarathia.
Oh wow.
Well, yes, but because she'll be inclined to keep the thing going. She won't want to kill you or your allies.
Perhaps I can entice her and lead her away from the whirlwind horn.
Fantastic.
Maybe if we can you transform into her dead wife and lure her away? That might be quite effective.
I think that might be quite insensitive.
She's trying to
we're
kill
gonna
a
kill
god.
her.
She's trying to kill a god and start an apocalypse, Alara. I don't really care if we hurt her feelings.
I feel like because it's insensitive, it won't be effective. If you've ever loved someone and then someone else took their skin because they died so you could fuck them one last time, I feel like that would go, rather wrong.
I don't know. It might not. I've never been in
Okay.
love, so I really couldn't say. But
Hmm.
I suppose if I had a good time with them, I might want one last round.
Oh,
Casimir,
okay,
you've
so
never been in love.
God, no. How impractical. What a waste
Okay,
of
and
energy and
himself.
thought.
Actually,
Well, that's true.
it's not surprising now that I think about it.
then I'll shift back to the bearded form of Atroposis. Well, if it seems like that won't work, then I guess we're back to plan A.
Yes, just kill her the old-fashioned way.
Ambush and murder.
Sex as a weapon. Interesting.
Good talk.
Oh, this is great stew, Quan.
Yeah, really good breakfast stew. It was
Yeah.
solid.
He just very faintly says, "You're welcome."
So, travel. No, Razor.
Fighting the bandit queen. And maybe sleeping with her.
Why? Yeah. Well, let's try both. You know.
I sleep with all my enemies.
A personal goal of mine.
Just to be safe.
So you are now 13 days, having traveled successfully for 3 of them. I guess 14 days. 3 days actually for 3 of them, and gambled 10. You are faced with the choice again. And let me know if my mic's working. I've shifted to the good one. Are you gambling any more days? You have 24 days total to travel, so 10 days from where you are now.
This is like when you're on like 18 and the dealer says, "Do you want to hit?"
We should hit.
Should we gamble another 5 days?
Let's hit. Yeah,
It
hit
is time
5,
to
hit
hit.
5.
It's time to hit.
But I've also rolled, so it's someone else's turn.
Si.
Someone else.
Oh God, really?
Yeah.
Gone, sire. It's
Oh,
plus
how
9 to the
many?
roll.
How many am I rolling?
1. We've hedged it
Oh,
all on this
1.
one roll.
Oh. That's an 8.
Plus 9?
Plus 9,
17.
18. 17. Maths.
17, right? 17?
Mhm.
It's a success. You don't get lost. You keep on path. You do reasonably well in terms of time, but you don't make up time. You don't find any of the special herbs you're on the lookout for. 5 days, right? 5 days of travel. 5 days of semi-awkward travel, given the conversation you've just had. During this time, you are slightly meleeed. The peaceful storm by which you've absorbed, whatever blessing or watching of Talos was over you, has in some way, Talos's eyes clearly aren't on you anymore, so you are subject to the more natural conditions of the Stormlands. His eyes have been forcefully advised or moved elsewhere. So, as a result, your DC for your final 5 days of travel is slightly higher, should you choose to gamble, or if you could do it individually. You travel fine. You make solid, reasonable progress over these 5 days, and you are about 5 days away from Razor, from Mountain's Breath. You are in the northernmost part of the Stormland now. Are you going to gamble the full 5, or are you going to split it up?
Gambel.
Yeah, fine.
Gambel.
We're so close to 21, you know?
Let's Gambel.
Right, we're counting cards. Fine.
Who's rolling?
Oh, God.
Who's
Not
feeling
me.
lucky?
That's game.
Esky.
Okay, fine. So what am I rolling? Just a straight D20 because it's Atlas's survival check, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
9
Plus 9, 18.
plus 9.
18.
I see.
It's all right.
okay.
It's okay.
We are going to have
Pretty
one
good.
more event before you get there. But as a reminder of where you are, your
The event.
whole kind of travel has been good. Guided by Casimir's knowledge of the Stormland, Mercy's understanding of the future, Atlas's knowledge of the area, Lara's reading of the area, and focus on anything that isn't Quan's direction. Get the awkward conversation halfway through. You go there. On your 21st day of travel, 3 days before, you come across an old, a decrepit, but a well-maintained building. One that, surprisingly, given where you are, you kind of detect, or as you're walking around, it was clearly once a bit apart, or the temple to a village long ago that's been destroyed, but the temple remains. It is, it holds, it holds a symbol above its entrance as it kind of, it's a fairly modest temple. But the symbol is that of a set of golden scales balanced upon a hammer. Those of you, including Quan now, with any passing knowledge of religion and history of Lukai, would recognize this as a symbol of Tyr.
Ugh. How unfortunate.
And seeing as you guys are all standing there, emerging through, an elderly man, probably 70s, 80s, emerges wearing very, very bedraggled robes. Once would have been cleric's robes. Of Tyr emerges and waves. Welcome to what once would have been hard home. We don't get many visitors. Hello.
What's
You just say
what's Quan's
hard
reaction?
home.
Harder. Hmm.
Is this where Quan's destiny lies?
Why is my character just a joke every campaign?
It's just you're a paladin, It's just it's because you're forced
I feel
not to do
weird.
this that it just
Every
makes it
joke
more
is
fun to make it
Money
happen.
expense.
It's just one of those days,
What is Quan's reaction to his temple?
I'd say he's probably visibly excited. I mean,
Awkward bonus is a label.
Phrasing.
Oh, it's Alara, but that's
I'm fine.
We're a really serious D&D stream, I hope.
I hope you're not wearing grey sweatpants.
Expression.
Very visible. Not the grey sweats.
Visible excitement.
He's looking hopeful. At the temple.
And it's been so long. Please, it's getting late and you just us up. Who are you? Why are you here? Why do you grace an old man's relic? And he looks back up at the temple.
What kind of location is this, Jamie? Like, is this like?
It's a ruined village.
forest?
It's in the middle of a swamp. There's a bit of a clearing. It's a ruined village. There's various kind of thing, and this building is clearly like only kept by basically plaster tape shitty repairs and hope from sinking into the swamp as well.
And was this on the map at all from Casimir or Ilara or any of these guys? Do they know?
Yeah, it's once a ruined village. This once would have been a trading village. The desecration of the Stormlands, the slow degradation, decay has just caused it to be no longer here. But yeah, this once would have been. This is a village. It's not like you're in an illusion.
Yeah.
What do you guys respond?
Sort of nudge Quan.
Go
May have
on.
gone.
Do some praying.
Sorry, I need BRB.
Well, our friend here is a follower of Tyr, and we are on our way actually through these mountains towards Mountain's Breath we're making for, and it's entirely by chance that we've stumbled across your village.
Oh, Mountain's Breath. It's very, very beautiful. I traveled there often when I was younger. You're not far from there now. 4 days, maybe 2 with your young legs. I wish you the best. If why are you going?
Oh, we just wish to look upon the mountain, really. We've heard that you can hear the voices of the ancestors listening through the wind, and each of us sort of our own reasons, but we all want to see the mountain for ourselves.
Oh, yes. It's a very ecological marvel, and the wind for it does pitch up and down, almost as if speaking. I never heard wisdom of the ancestors, but I can understand those who do.
Go on, Mercy.
Your village seems quite empty.
Oh, everyone. Well, I'm bound here by duty. Everybody else left a long time ago. My life's work to keep it up, really. But this place still retains some of Tyr's holy magic, and I think that ought to be looked after. Besides, I don't think I could survive the journey. What are you messaging about, you two, at the back of the class, giggling?
That is his whole life to keep it up.
Stop. I saw Matt laugh and I
Juan, you know a lot about
immediately
Tyr,
knew.
don't you?
I managed
You
to
can
keep a
help-
straight face.
You can help him
You
keep it up.
guys, I managed not to laugh.
I couldn't help myself.
I saw you laughing
Come
and I
on.
knew why, and I had to laugh as well.
Come on.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm not looking at Boyband memes anymore. I'm not doing it.
It's dangerous in that channel. I am.
Quan, my companion is a devout follower of Tyr, and it's Quan, you're very quiet. Like this gentleman is a keeper of Tyr's temple.
Yes, I would love an opportunity to pray.
It's wonderful to see another who follows the Lord of Justice. Justice be our shield and law be our sword. Please, allow an old man to offer you all comforts of his home, his hospitality. I don't know how long it will be before I see another soul.
You've not
Well,
seen.
perhaps
Several nights on the road.
You've not seen many people here recently, have you? Travelers coming through at an abnormal rate.
Oh, well. Those passers-by I know to avoid. I recognize evil. I see it in their faces. Tyr warns me. I feel it in my bones. Many have come through recently.
Tyr warns you about the evil.
I can sense when I shouldn't reveal myself to somebody.
I see.
I see the ill intent in their heart.
You're looking quite intently at my friend.
Saying that yes, I've seen an increasing activity in the area, but not activity I would wish to be associated with.
Well,
Does Tyr warn you about Casimir?
are you asking if I'm evil, Mercy?
Yes, I'm just curious.
Fair question.
If you would allow me to pray with you, and kind of hands her hand out to Casimir.
I'd really rather not. I don't.
Oh, Casimir, please.
No, I don't think I will.
Please.
No.
This is a great opportunity gifted to you, Casimir. Just
It is
Take
always a good time to pray, and now better than ever.
Okay, let's pray to Tyr.
He kind of holds out his hand to Quan as well.
yep,
Oh.
Quan takes it.
I don't. Well, I'll be surprised if Quan's evil. But you never know.
I mean, he's a spy, Mercy, remember?
It's
Let the
possible.
scales of justice weigh our hearts. By Tyr's unwavering hand, may we find our path.
Find our path. Yes.
I sense there are many paths before you, both of you. Tyr's voice is lost. Troubling. I can't feel it. Can't feel it from you. Except for Casimir.
Well, that's because
I don't know how to weigh your soul. Much is still in your choosing.
You can't weigh my soul because it's none of your fucking business. He'll take his hand back.
And turns to Quan, kind of clasps Quan's hand. You've long been away from a place of worship, haven't you? I can feel that.
Well, unfortunately, I don't remember the last time I was. That's unfortunate.
Entirely true. I think my phone just died battery-wise. Which isn't great.
Cameras are fucked.
Sai, you're the DM again.
Sorry, your DM.
Free magic
sorry.
item, free magic
We're
item.
nearly there. Sai's in charge right now.
Could I
Um,
have the robes of the Archmagi, please?
Yes.
Great, I'll add that to my character sheet.
Anyone else?
I'll have a Vorpal sword.
I can't
Yeah.
add this back. I need to charge my
Thank you very
phone,
much.
and then it's gonna be like a couple of minutes. So if somebody else could add a fake.
I'll have something that's good for a cleric. I don't know what's good for a cleric.
Does
guys don't
anyone
mind,
have
this is
a
great.
Does anyone have a
Oh,
camera?
sorry,
on?
my phone is starting up now.
Okay.
Apologies.
Yes, Eski, you can have the most overpowered item for a cleric. Enjoy.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate it.
Nice.
Feels like a great
um,
idea. What could possibly go wrong?
Everyone gets 10,000 gold.
Wow,
Hey.
it's Christmas. Could we level up
Wow.
again, please?
Yes, you're
What is
level
my
20 now.
Wow.
What is the most OP item for a cleric?
Blood of the
Holy
Thunder.
Avenger.
Oh, no, that's
Holy
Paladin.
event. That's Paladin.
Paladin.
I guess Quan finds a Holy Avenger
it
in his
just
inventory, though.
Is that a big sword?
It's a big sword. A massive
sword.
sword. Hmm.
So, who wants to romance a dragon?
Oh yeah, me please. Is there a sexy dragon in the town nearby?
Yes, she's called.
She, I'm not interested.
Socrates, you offered the flute. How dare you? I don't stop you. Wait, why is my fuck's sake? Why is my camera now dead? Okay, technical problems on stream. Hello.
That's okay. We're romancing a sexy dragon right now. What's her name?
Yeah, she's called Jamia.
Jamia.
She's
Jamia.
a red dragonborn at the moment. and
Okay.
she's very sexy.
Okay. How big is she? Is this gonna be a size difference? Probably. Is she a small dragon or a really big dragon?
She's quite large.
Can she
Hang on. The insults that aren't necessary.
Is she into one-on-ones or does she do multiple?
She's open to anything.
I think she might need a few. She's a lot bigger than
On
us.
her Tinder, it says open to everything.
Yeah, it's like a team job.
Okay, right, that's it.
I think
This is
there's
a
a real
whole
opportunity
raid.
for us, guys.
Jamie, but when you all die, it's going to be to Jamie the dragon.
No, he's back.
Very large.
Jamie showed.
Ben, roll a Constitution saving throw. Not mercy, Ben.
You have no power here, Jamie.
So,
Yeah.
the guy whose name you haven't actually fucking asked for, Father Eldran, holds Juan's hand. Please, all of you, accept my hospitality for this evening. Allow an old man the warmth of company and laughter and music once more.
We don't have a bard.
Oh. Well,
We
it's
did,
very
but he
kind of you,
died.
but we were hoping to kind
Late at night.
of make up the time, and we still have quite a way to go.
Isn't it evening? Is this the time
is
that we'd be
It is
setting
well,
camp?
yeah.
It is evening,
We-
but
yeah,
if you say that, he says, I understand you have a mission, but I can tell that this one holds needs a moment. Needs to reignite and renew relationship as we all do with what's most important to us. I'm sure you can take a few moments to share in your friend's faith.
Of course. Come on. Relationship with who?
With Tyr, of course.
Oh, Tyr, of course.
I am not going to ask who you were thinking of. But yes, I mean, this seems to be the first opportunity I've had in a while to pray. Perhaps have some of my questions answered. Fill in the gaps. Surely you wouldn't mind resting here for a while.
I
I
suppose
think
we
should rest here tonight.
could get an early start tomorrow if we rest here.
How does Casimir look at this suggestion?
Deeply uncomfortable. It kind of looks like he's pondering what his terms and conditions are for agreeing to this. You can it's like kind of the face of someone going, I don't want to say yes, but I could probably get something out of this. And he kind of turns around to Quan and says, Quan, I'll do it. I won't like it. I'll even try not to complain very often. But in exchange, you have to cook every single meal from here on out. Every last one. I don't want to see a single piece of horse jerky ever at our camp. Every single meal, you.
Well, that's very gracious of you, Casimir. I wouldn't want to make you feel uncomfortable, but
No, it's fine.
I
I'm
feel like
kind and
that's
magnanimous. I will do it.
perhaps the food issue is one the entire group should make, not just making the decision on your whim.
Does anyone else object to Quan making every single meal from here on out?
I mean, I most certainly don't. It's very, very tasty.
Elara, you could eat his home cooking every single day. How nice would that be?
Very good at cooking.
Don't mind cooking
Enjoy
as
it so
well.
much.
No, Mercy, I'm not.
Oh, okay.
Well, I will do my best, and he's kind of like considering the hours that he has to get up early to make the food and prepare the things, but looks quietly pleased, like he's enjoying being asked this. So, yep.
Although I hope the beds are comfortable. You do have duvets and blankets and things, yes? Kind of turns to the old man and starts asking for details on where they're staying and what facilities he has. DM.
It's fine. I'm listening. Don't worry. He's like, well, I've kept most of the quarters well, the altar, the prayer room, but our kitchen failed a long time ago. I have some beds, a couple of hammocks still. It's
We
all
have
room.
tents and bedrolls as well, so
I just want to jump in there. Old man, if your kitchen failed a while ago, how have you been living out here?
Kind of points off to a garden. I grow most of what I can. I'm still capable of hunting and trapping to some extent. He's very
impressive
skinny.
at your age.
what's your name, grandfather?
Elzran. Father once, but no longer that honorific is needed.
Well, Eldran, why don't we see what we can do with your kitchen? Perhaps your chimney will still be in order, otherwise we might have to eat under the stars.
I'm sure
Atlas,
even if
you look
outside.
strong. Why would you mind coming with me? Perhaps we can move some stones or something if needs be.
Absolutely. We can also go on a quick hunt if needed as well.
Maybe like looking at the dilapidated state of the temple, you would expect Casimir to make a snarky remark about it, but probably quietly to Quan, he says, "Do you know, I've never seen a temple to Tyr that wasn't coated in enough gold to feed a district for a year."
Really? I mean, surely there must be some older places of worship.
No, I'm used to seeing the temples in Sacramar, which are exorbitant, we shall say.
Well, perhaps it's just a reflection of the village, and he looks around at the ruins. I imagine, seeing as there's no one living here, there's no one to maintain the place.
Maybe it's all been raided. Strange, I always thought Tyr liked his bravado and his show of having everything. Anyway, let's pray. And he kind of looks very uncomfortable as he steps inside.
Kind of taking a second and talking to Quan as the walking, and the rest of you kind of make your way in to inspect, and you enter a dingy, slightly damp, dark, what once would have been a reception room leading into a large hall. You see kind of the altar far off. You see various iconography of Tyr. Once would have been murals, perhaps paintings, stained glass, a staircase that once would have lived somewhere, but now the tower is clearly in rubble on the side, and leading downwards where there is torches lit below, claiming that this man lives underground and kind of leaves the profit better. And you are all surprised as there is a loud bang from behind you. And standing there, as the rest of you have entered this, the man stands there, hand outstretched, as Quan has been thrown 50 feet backwards, slamming into a tree.
We're all slamming into trees this session.
Exactly. Rejected.
Is there
by
a
the
reason
building.
that this keeps happening to us?
And given time, and what we're going to go through, we are going to stop there. Juan being thrown backwards from the entrance to a temple to Tyr.
I hate
All of you
the
perhaps
phrase.
wondering, what the hell has just happened?
Quanta vampire.
I hate the phrase given the time.
It's the only logical conclusion, really, isn't it?
He has to be invited in.
Yeah,
He was
invited everywhere.
He was invited in.
He was, explicitly.
Okay, and with a slightly mimi, but some semi-serious lore drops, that's where we'll finish. Thank you everybody for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and we will chat soon
Next
and be back
week.
next week
I
or
want to
next
see.
Thursday. Okay.
No, you're
We're doing
running.
Wednesday next
You're
week.
running the stream on Wednesday. I'm not here, but you're running it. Have fun, sir.
Great. Casimir will not be here. Luke and Alvis might be here. We'll wait to hear back from them. Hopefully they're all okay. But yeah, awesome. Hope everyone have fun. Chat soon. Thank you guys.
Thank you, guys. Bye,
Thanks,
bye, bye,
bye.
bye, bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, I can't find the button. Keep saying bye. Goodbye. Okay.